Welcome, relatives. This is Lorenzo Serna, Director of Tactical Media here at the Indian Collective. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Chicane, and as always, I am so excited to be speaking with you. Today, we're going to bring up a few of our colleagues who are actually in Washington, D.C. We wanted to update you of why we're there, why would we go to that city. We're going to meet some folks, it sounds like. But I'm just going to bring them in right away. We're going to talk to them, get some introductions, hear about what's going on in D.C. today. As you know, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in Rapid. And let's just bring them in, start the conversation. Hey. I think well
Hey
first
there.
yeah, I want hello. I guess we'll have people introduce themselves. Let's go with Janine first. If you want to just say hello, let people just introduce yourself, let know where you're at, what's going on.
Absolutely. Hi, Janene Yazzie, Dene, um, she, her pronouns. I'm the Director of Policy and Advocacy for Indian Collective, and I'm coming to you all from DC. Um, and yeah, really happy to be here. Thank you so.
Right on, and I'm gonna have you Eva as well. If you could introduce introduce yourself for the people, it'd be great.
Hey everyone, my name is Eva Cardenas, Director of Organizing Chicana Mexica, pronounced she, her. It's lovely to be here with all of you all today.
All right. And so yeah, so what's going on here? You're in Washington D.C. I'm just kind of curious. I think we wanted to tell folks like why are we there? So what brings you to D.C.? And I don't know, Jeannie, if you want to go first.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'll go first. Advocating and using every pathway available to our peoples has always been part of how we have fought for our treaty rights and protected and exercised our sovereignty as Indigenous peoples and as tribal nations. And that happens at every level of government because it's really important for us to show up and be where decisions are made that impact the lands, territory, sacred sites, and lives of our people. And so this is just part of our multifaceted strategy to continue in that tradition of resistance and of fighting for the protection of our lands and our peoples, and putting forward solutions to some of the biggest challenges that we face.
And Eva?
Yeah, so we're here as a group of different organizers, policy folks that do amazing work. Comms team, we have a small group of us that are attending, and I think to add to what some of the things that Janine is saying in terms of our multi approach. With when it comes to like different decision makers, we're also here to educate people on the current issues that are happening on the ground. We recognize that a lot of these policymakers and stakeholders, live a different kind of life. They have a different context of what's actually happening with working class people, and so we're here to sort of reframe the issues, to give calls to action, and to give directives as to what we're hoping that they step up to the plate and do as this administration is coming to an end.
So you'll be talking to folks. I like the whole working class too. I was like, geez, like the further you get away from the people, like people gotta check in, you know? Like when you're in the halls of power, like homie, those are the halls of power. They're not like, like the houses of people's homes, or apartments. So what I guess like so your goals are to speak to people like what particularly are you hoping to talk about with the different folks you'll be speaking with?
Yeah, so we have different areas of work that we're focusing on. I think just from like I said, we're a large group of folks that are working on different issues. One of the things that we're hoping to do is we're hoping to talk to people about our different campaigns in Rapid City. So the Rapid City versus Racism campaign, at the moment, we're asking for the school board to get all of the school resource officers out of Rapid City schools. We're also asking for the Department of Justice to step up and do an investigation into the Rapid City State Police and Sheriff's Office in terms of um, their continuing violence against Indian communities, the murders that they've committed and have not seen any. They haven't been accountable for. We're also here to talk about the different ways in which we can protect Hesapa and so Black Hills. So talking about the different mining laws and how that impacts extractive economy in communities locally. And also we're here to like demand the land, the Hesapa land back. So the hills back. And so I think that's also like an important narrative that we're talking, and that's just a piece of the work that we're doing. There's like multiple other things that other comrades are going to be talking about, and so I just want to also allow Janine to talk a little bit about some of the other work.
Ginny? let me know.
Yeah, thank you, Eva. In addition to those very important campaigns and priorities, we're also advocating for the clemency for our elder Leonard Peltier, knowing that this is really the window for us to continue to share the urgency with which we need this administration to act and to get our elder out of prison so that he may return to his homelands and live out the rest of his days in peace. But we're also here to really demystify a lot of the work that NDN does. I think that it's sometimes hard to really show the scope and breadth of the work that we do. We're primarily known for our grant making, but also for our advocacy on the front lines and the ways that we show up in support of many communities and organizations that are on the ground building solutions, but also resisting more harm and further destruction of their territories and their waters, their traditional homelands. But we also carry a lot of body of work as on our own at Indian Collective. One of those is our Pine Creek Ranch project in Nevada, in which we established the Nevada Water Conservancy. And so we're here to really talk about some of the progress that has been made with that project, how we are currently pushing through active applications with the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Services to reinstate the grazing and leasing permits that were historically associated with that ranch. And it's part of a multifaceted project to get land back and give to the Shoshone and Paiute people that land originally belonged to. And so it's both, a climate project, a conservation project, and a land back project. And that just goes to show how in one project it really holds a lot of the different visions and goals and priorities that we advocate for at Indian Collective and that we support. Another thing that we'll be really highlighting here is the work that we've been doing around launching our Climate Justice Initiative, which is one of those ways that we are creating and using the vehicle that we've created to rematriate resources and bring support to Indigenous organizations and communities and tribal nations that have faced systemic barriers when it comes to accessing federal resources. There's just so many barriers when it comes to actually getting resources to where it is most needed and helping our people really build the regenerative economies, the sustainable food systems, the conservation projects, the land management projects. Basically, a lot of the key things that we need for our nations and our communities to thrive. And so this is one of the ways that we're using the vehicle that we've created to help overcome a lot of those systemic barriers and challenges, but being able to communicate and explain that with decision makers at the federal level so that they better understand both the challenges that are there that continue to be present, as well as the ways that we can work together to address those challenges and ensure that people have direct access to a lot of these very important resources that are available for them, and the projects that they're championing is really important for long-term sustainability and advancement of those projects.
It's just like I'm just like, and so I'm part of Indian Collective, so anyone watching is like, oh, and one of the things I always find really interesting is this sort of like the different levels of work that's always being done. Like there's like the international level, there's this nation level, and there's like the local level. Like you all just came, like you were saying, from working locally. Like we just had the press conference about this trial. That's like the on rapid city versus racism. That's on this ongoing way to this illuminate racism that exists there. But also I see people on the ground, they're going to meetings, they're having conversations day to day, and like that's where I came from, right? I came from like this organizing and this talking to people. But then now I have the opportunity to witness all of this work that happens at all these different levels. So I'm just kind of really thankful all the time to be able to see this and see how you're taking the local, bringing it to the national and bringing it to the international, thinking globally but acting locally. Like it's all happening here. And so I'm just really thankful again for y'all to be there. I know this was going to be a really short conversation because you all have a bunch of things you're going to be doing today. Is there any way for people to plug in, anything to expect throughout the week at all?
Yeah, there's always two. And Sorry, Janine, I kind of just jumped in here. But yeah, I think so. We'll encouraging folks to follow us, follow our website, follow us on social medias. There's definitely lots of different calls to actions that are happening, particularly with Leonard. And like as we're moving into this fall season, there's going to be a lot of different calls to actions that people can do. You don't have to live in Rapid City to support. You can do it from your home. And so we're encouraging folks to follow our socials. We'll be looking out for different calls to actions, encouraging the local people of Rapid City who are listening or watching us to please join us. Sign up for different newsletters where we provide more information around the different events that are happening. And come through. We wanna be able to see you and work with you and collaborate. And then for the homies that are just kind of like, where do I plug in? I think that this is like the perfect ask for folks to like organize within your community, find your people, make sure we're talking about the issues that matter, because at the end of the day, as we've mentioned, the folks in these halls of power are here momentarily. Our working class people are here every day out here in these streets. And so I want to encourage folks to organize, educate, and agitate. So that's my plug. Shift it over to Janine.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely perfect. And we want to, and we're going to aim to provide regular updates, hopefully using the same platform as we progress throughout the week. And, you know, we have a lot of meetings lined up that we're pretty excited about. So we'd love to keep people updated on what progress comes from those meetings or not. But I think that, you know, this is just part of our larger vision of closing the gap between, you know, the front lines, the people at the grassroots, the organizers who are doing the day-to-day and work and helping protect our peoples and advance our solutions, and closing the gap with the decision makers that, you know, are oftentimes very disconnected from what's happening on the ground, but make decisions regardless that have a direct impact on our lives and our ability to organize and put forward those solutions. So we're really excited. We have a great team here to speak to many of the different issues important to our people and our work, experts in their own right, and we're really looking to, you know, bring and carry the work that we're doing, the prayers that it's rooted in, the values that we hold, the principles that we hold into these spaces so that we can advocate very strongly for our people and for our ways of living.
Well, thanks so much for checking in. I can let you get to your day. I'll close out this live, and we'll hopefully hear from you throughout the week. So if you're following, just like hit like, follow all that stuff, and you'll hear more updates from different members of our team who are out there. So again, thanks for being here. I'm gonna get to myself and close this out. So talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. That was going to be just a quick update. I hope that if you know, like I said, there's ways to follow. You can look in the description of the live. There's the newsletter. There you can sign up for text updates. Our team's going to be on the ground. And again, just really thankful to hear what's going on. You know, I think, again, I'm not there, so I'm going to be getting these updates with you and learning about what the conversations that are happening. And also just like really thankful for all the people who are meeting with our people who are there. You know, I know that they have busy schedules, and so being able to directly advocate is always such a big deal. And so I'm thankful that's happening. And again, just follow us. Say what you're thinking. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll be back probably, I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, but it's gonna happen. So thanks again for being here. I'm Lorenzo Serna, Director of Tactical Media, pronouns they them, Chicani, and we'll see you next time.